Okay, welcome to part 2 of our test review for chapter 1. We have this table that's like a graph that we've drawn on the board, and it has information across the bottom, which is what? Number of months. And then up on the side, it's what? Money earned. So the test is going to show you a graph similar to this, and you're going to have to answer questions about it. So it might say, I'm just going to make this darker. Sorry, pretend like that's straight. But it might say, in 5 months, they earned $5,000. True or false? True. In 3 months, they earned $1,000. True or false? False. So you're going to have to use the information and the line drawn to answer questions. Does that make sense? Okay. Brain break, Ethan. So in 6 months, how much money had they earned? 6,000. You're on brain break.
Oh, 6,000.
Brain break. 2. Brain break. Okay. In 3 months, they earned how much money? Jim, how much? In 3 months? I know my graph isn't like super easy to read. 3,000, yes. On the test, there's actually like lines going across so you can like match it up better and see exactly where the number lands. Kayla, can you answer one for me? How much money have they earned after 4 months? 4,000. Okay. Any questions on this? It's pretty straightforward, I think. Okay, so on this question, it's going to give you 3 types of graphs, and each one looks a little bit different. It's going to ask you a question saying which graph matches this question, and then you'll choose the graph that matches. So, for example, on page 61, number 80, it says identify the graph that represents the altitude of an airplane taking off, flying for a while, and then landing. Okay, and we talked about altitude means how high something goes. So, which graph represents an airplane taking off, flying for a while, and then landing? Gianna? C is correct. Good job. Because before it takes off, where is it? On the ground, exactly. Then it takes off, goes higher and higher, flies in the air a little while, and then starts coming down to land. Okay, so one last thing I want to go over for the test is you're going to see some graphs that look like this. So let's talk about what these graphs mean and how they're different. Because I see that this graph, we'll call it graph 1, and graph, 3, kind of look similar, maybe-ish. And then I feel like 2 and 4 might be a little bit similar too. So, number 1 would be a graph that starts low and just keeps rising. And number 3, it starts high and goes low, but then what does it do? It goes back up again. So this might be something like, if we're talking about a dog's life, maybe this is the energy level of a dog. I don't think this makes sense. This is not a good example.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but let's pretend it makes sense. We'll just pretend. So, like the dog when it's a puppy has a lot of energy, right? And then we'll say when the dog is kind of getting older, he gets a little lazy bones. And then you notice he's getting lazy bones. And so you're like, all right, we got to start exercising more. I'll take him on walks every day. And then his energy level will start going up again. Okay, so that's what that type of graph is showing us, that something starts high, goes low for a time, but then goes high again. Questions? Okay, so then this one starts high and just goes low and stays low. But this one starts high, goes higher, and then kind of drops off. So this one I would call my parents' dog, okay? Puppy energy, middle age energy, and now he is the laziest dog I have ever met. He does nothing but lay around. Okay, so the last thing on your test is a circle graph. And we talked about something really important about circle graphs. Kayla, do you remember what all the values in the circle graph have to add up to? Yes, 100. Everything has to equal 100% in the circle graph. If it's more than 100, then what about the information in the graph? It's right. It's not correct. If it equals less than 100, what about the information in the graph? It's not correct either. It's called not being valid. Okay, so the graph is only valid. That means we can only use the information in it if everything adds up to 100. So that's what you need to know about circle graphs. Any questions?